You're with Christine Layton on ABC Grade 7.
It is 22 minutes past 7 now. Adam is a 26-year-old mechanical engineer and Tahnee is a young 28-year-old digital marketer, and together they've quit their jobs to rooftop tent around Australia. Now, the couple from Perth call themselves the Dirty Drifters and decided to do this instead of buying a house. They join me now. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Christine. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in. Now, tell me firstly, was it hard quitting your jobs and how did your bosses react?
Really not hard. In fact, we wanted to do this a couple of years ago. They were supportive. Everyone has been supportive.
Yeah?
It was a bit confronting initially, but to be honest, work handled it really well. I think everyone there was really pleased and they sort of, seemed to be much more positive about it than me leaving for another job. So,
yeah,
it was good.
You know, when society is saying, you know, you're this age, you've got this amount of money, what you should be doing is buying a house. Was it hard to go against the grain?
Not really.
No, not really. But we both have a bit of a rebellious spirit. I think it was easier for us because we both graduated from university and we are well into our careers. And we actually feel like it's a good time to do it now because a little bit of a break on the resume, I actually think works towards your favour.
Why is that?
When job interviews, conversations, everyone's human at the end of the day, and makes you more personable, builds character.
A bit more life experience as well.
Life experience.
But I think more than anything else, we just didn't want to wait until we were older to do some travelling. Like, you know, there's a lot of things when you're travelling, especially around Australia. You know, it's good to be young and fit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're looking at doing Bluff Knoll next week, maybe,
Yep.
depending on the weather. So.
Oh, you'd be surprised what some of our listeners can achieve in their grey years.
Yeah.
But I will admit that at 33, it was a very hard trip for me, at least, in my knees. Now, the Caravan and Camping Expo is on this weekend in Perth. There's a few people heading up, including some young folk. My brother was telling me that there's been quite the market for second-hand caravans up in Perth, and young people are starting to think about this instead of spending their money on things like Kentucky tours. You know, do you think that young people are starting to go the other way now, and if so, why?
I think a lot of young people like to get away on the weekends and do that sort of stuff. Like, you know, like
Public holidays, they squeeze it in.
the last year or so, I don't think we've spent a single public holiday at home. Like, we've always been out four-wheel driving, camping. We've got a big group of friends that do the same sort of thing. But I think it's quite difficult to make the jump and do that long term. Like, we're going to be away for, you know, probably 8 or 9 months.
Plenty of factors, you know, mortgage, partners might not want to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Still studying, or they're just started their career and they don't want to waste all that studying and take that plunge. Secondhand campers, personally, we saw quite a few rooftop tents with young families. We actually haven't come across any young Australians on our travels
We've only
so
been
far.
away a week. So.
We've been away a week. We've met a lot of young foreigners.
Yeah.
And we've met a lot of older Australians. But the camper trend, what would you say, Adam? Do we?
Yeah, have you noticed it? I phoned a few caravan stores just locally to see what they were thinking, and they said, well, firstly, you're generally not going to get young people coming in and asking for a $50,000, $70,000 caravan. It's just not going to happen. But it's hard to track the second-hand market because so much of it happens online.
The expense is a big thing. Like, I think if you've got a family and kids, like, a camper makes a lot more sense. But for Tahnee and myself, just the two of us, the roof tent was much more affordable. You don't have to pay for the rego and all and the purchase cost, of course, of the camper and insurance. But also just access wise, like we can just
access.
We got the four-wheel drive. We can just go down the beach. We can pop up in a national park. Like, we don't have to worry about, you know, are we going to be able to get the camper down there? You know, there's positives and negatives with everything. So
it's 26 minutes past 7. You're on ABC Great Southern with Christine Layton. I'm speaking to Adam. He's 26, a mechanical engineer. Tahnee, 28, a digital marketer. They've quit their jobs and they're travelling around the country. Now, you've been to Augusta, Margaret River, Walpole, Denmark. Today you're in Albany. Where to next? You're going to do the whole country, right?
Oh, yes.
yeah.
We are.
So we're heading towards Esperance next.
That's right.
And we'll go over to Port Augusta and then go straight up the Stewart Highway through Cooper Pedy, Alice, up to Darwin, and then do the top end, far north Queensland.
Yep.
We want to do the old telegraph track at Cape York. And then, come down the east coast when hopefully the weather's warming up a little bit.
Go to the Kimberleys.
Well, after we get back to Perth, yeah.
That's right.
That'd be a nice way to do it. What do you think you're going to learn by the end of this trip? I mean, what are you hoping to get out of it? Or are you just doing it?
For me, my father passed away 2 years ago, and this is a bit of a sentimental trip for me. He loved travelling Australia, and I wanted to get more skilled, a bit more competent. I'm a digital marketer, and I think I've been a bit wrapped up in social media maybe too much. And while we're blogging about this, I just really want to inspire other young people to kind of like take a break and find themselves, get more purpose, maybe a career redirection.
Really, I mean, I think we both just wanted to see the place and get away from home for a bit.
Yeah.
I think we're a bit bored.
Awesome.
So,
well, it's great to meet you. You're doing a brave thing, I think, in the eyes of most other young people. Have a good time. Your Facebook page is The Dirty Drifters. For those who want to follow you, good luck and keep us in the loop.
Oh, thanks Christine. Thanks.
It was nice to meet you. Adam and Tahnee, they quit their jobs. They spent their house deposit on travelling. They're doing something others don't do.